Welcome to the Good Morning from the Chicken Coop podcast with Kim Johnson, your creative strategist and master mindset coach. Filled with inspiration, distinctions, perspectives, and possibilities, we help you to cultivate a mindset that leads you to create the best version of yourself you could ever imagine. Join Kim every morning from one of her favorite happy places, her chicken coop, along with all her chickens.
Hey everybody, good morning from the chicken coop. So today I want to talk to you about emotion and what it really means. Well, why are we emotional creatures? Why do we have them? Well, it's my personal belief, and this is going to be more of a spiritual conversation right now, that our emotions were given to us because it's the way we communicate with God and the universe. Now, that may sound like an absolute crazy thought, like why is she telling me this? But listen, I want to give you guys all different perspectives, and you don't have to agree with me on all of them. But what I really want to do is give you the possibilities of being able to see something in a very different way. Apparently, Raven agrees with me this morning. So power is in possibilities, and this may just be what you need to hear today. And I was inspired by someone that I love very, very much to have this conversation, and had this conversation with someone because of the fact they're going through a rough time. So I wanted to share this with everybody because I think it's critical to our mental well-being. So we have this whole set of emotions, our guidance system, if you will, and it's meant to be able to give us insight quickly. Emotions, if nothing else, give us quick insight because they fire off so fast. And we're able to read them if we listen and if we slow down and if we pay attention. So as we're hearing them, we're getting real-time data about whether we should shift or not shift. And what that all means. Well, great. We can all understand that. You put your hand on a stove, the stove is hot, move your hand, boom, you got to move it before you get a burn. That's what emotions are meant to do. But there's a bigger thing in my opinion, and again, just some food for thought, nobody has to agree with me on this, but I believe that our emotions were given to us as a gift to be able to know that we are constantly and consistently connected to God, to the universe. We are never disconnected. As long as you are feeling emotion, you are connected. It is evidence, if you will, that you are part of a bigger tapestry. You are part of something much bigger than you may have ever considered. And this information is pertinent to your well-being because when in a world where we often all feel completely and totally alone and there's no one to help us, we couldn't be more wrong because our emotions are our tether, if you will, to something greater, something bigger, something that we may not have considered. And they're providing us, again, real-time information, real-time data as things transpire, but they're also proof positive that you have something more that you are a part of and that you matter and that you're part of a bigger picture. And for me, that piece of information is critical. Are there times when we go through stuff in our life when we feel completely and totally alone and just can't figure our way out of anything? Sure, because we're stuck in a place of trying to solve problems or understand why, and we don't understand why is this happening. Well, that's a question that's never going to serve you because it doesn't matter why it's happening. What matters is that it is happening and that we shift and move our emotions, our actions, and everything around it so that we can change it. But we can't do that if we don't believe in something bigger than ourselves. We can't do those things if we don't have some sort of faith, some sort of connection, and know that we're not by ourselves. And to me, because we have such an intelligent guidance system in emotions, and they're so useful, they're so telling, they just give us everything we need to know. Even though we don't like to listen and we don't want to pay attention to it, they are providing everything that we need to know. It's just us that gets in the way. Our analytical mind gets in there and our cognitive thought gets in there, and then it doesn't make sense. And because it doesn't make sense, we can't listen to it. Well, let me ask you this. If any of you have had intuition before, and we say it was my intuition, well, what is that? Where does that come from? Because it's not your cognitive thought that happens to. That comes from your gut. That comes from your soul. That comes from your heart, however you want to look at it. And again, we all have different language on this stuff, but it doesn't matter. It comes from another side. It comes from the ether, if you will. And we say, I don't know, I just had a gut feeling. Okay, so you had a gut feeling, you followed it, and it was the right thing to do. And 9 times out of 10, our gut feelings are the right things to do, but we don't listen because our cognitive thought gets in the way. We block it. We block our connection and our belief and our spirituality, and that's what messes us up. And our emotions are the fiber network, if you will, to all of it. And that's what I want to convey to you guys today. If you feel and experience emotion, you are not alone. You have a bigger backing of something greater. Now, what that something greater is, it's different for everybody. Some people believe it to be something with God. Some people believe it to be something with the universe. Some people believe it to be a completely inexplicable thing for science. And some scientists will say, no, we are all energetically connected. Everything, rocks, trees, whatever it may be. I mean, just because we don't see them communicating doesn't mean they don't communicate. There's a really fantastic book about that with trees. I think it's called The Hidden Life of Trees. And it's all about these trees that this scientist studied and how they communicate and how he proved that they communicate and how they used mushroom networks in order to do it, and how they would send energy to other trees when they needed it if they were sick or weren't getting enough nutrition where they were. It's a fascinating book, but it's just one more thing in the proof positive world of the fact that we don't know what we don't know. And I think that that's so important to remember. Even if this concept of what I'm talking about is way beyond where you have ever thought anything to be, don't discount it, because at one point we as human beings thought this earth was flat, and we insisted that it was flat, and we murdered people over saying that it was round. So what's important to remember is we don't know what we don't know, and possibilities are our way out, and you have to feel your way through things. So I challenge you today to really think this through. Think about the fact that this is an emotional proof positive, if you will, okay? That if you're feeling emotions, you are connected to something bigger. There is something more out there. So tap into it, use it, feel it, don't be afraid of it, and know it has your back. It has everything. And when you change your emotions, your world changes. So please, whatever you're doing, stop, pause, and just give this some thought, because our emotions are how we communicate with the universe, with God. And the more we tap into that, the better off we are. So I'm sending you all big, huge hugs today, and I hope you have an amazing day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.